My daughter ran upstairs crying. The sound of her footsteps still echoes in my skull. Small, frantic, like a bird thrashing against glass. She clutched her doll as if it could save her, eyes wide, shimmering with tears. Then, gone. The slam of her door split the silence, louder than anything my wife and I had screamed. I froze. Not at the argument, not at the venom in her voice or mine, but at the sight of my daughter breaking, splintering in real time. Her cry was sharp, jagged, too raw to ignore. It cut deeper than any insult, and in that cut I felt something shift, something break free inside me. We had argued before, petty things, bitter things, but this time her face carried something different, contempt. Not anger, not frustration, contempt, like she was done pretending. And in that split second, as my daughter's door shook in its frame, I realized this wasn't about us anymore. It hadn't been for a long time. It was about the secrets that bled through every word. Secrets she thought I was too blind to see. That night, the silence was heavier than the shouting. She stood at the sink, rinsing a glass she hadn't drunk from. Her hands trembled, but her eyes, cold, distant, never met mine. I watched her reflection instead of her face. Easier that way. A shadow of the woman I once knew. It was the small things that had piled up. The late-night texts she turned away from. The perfume she never wore for me. The laughter, short, sharp, too familiar, that leaked through a half-closed door when she thought I was asleep. I told myself I was imagining it, that paranoia was poisoning me, that marriage was just erosion, not betrayal. But then our daughter cried, not just from fear of the shouting, but from something deeper, something she had felt but never understood. Children sense what we bury. They know when love has rotted into performance. And I knew then. My denial collapsed, leaving only a hollow space where trust used to live. I did not rage. I did not accuse. I studied. Her phone became my scripture. The glow of its screen at 2 a.m. was my candlelight. She guarded it like a guilty priest, but mistakes slipped through cracks. Notifications, numbers I didn't recognize. I memorized them, dialed them when she showered. Silent breaths on the other end before the line cut. The whispers in her tone grew sharper in my ear with every overheard fragment. I could hear the smile she saved for him, the warmth that never touched me anymore. Still, I said nothing. Outwardly calm, inwardly coiled. A friend owed me a favor at the clinic. DNA tests don't ask questions when money passes quietly. A swab from my daughter's hairbrush. A quiet trip to the lab. Days stretched into shadows. My routine unchanged. I kissed my daughter goodnight. I held my wife with arms that no longer trembled. I played the part of the blind man, while inside, my vision sharpened. Every tick of the clock was a countdown, every second, closer to truth. The envelope was plain, white, innocent. I slid it open with steady hands. Read once. Twice. A third time, though the words did not change. Probability of paternity, 0%. The world did not spin. My chest did not collapse. There was no storm. Only silence. A silence too sharp, too pure to be natural. I sat at the table, the report flat in front of me. She entered moments later, carrying groceries, humming a song I suddenly hated. "Long day?" she asked. I slid the paper across the wood. No words, just the truth. Her hands shook, eyes darted, first at the numbers, then at me. Color drained from her face. She stammered something, denial, confusion, maybe prayer. I only watched. My silence louder than any accusation. And in that silence, she shattered. She reached for me, pleading, grasping at a story she hadn't written yet. But I didn't move, didn't flinch. It's not what you think, she whispered, voice breaking. Then, explain, I said. Calm, even, too calm. She broke faster than I expected. Tears welled, spilling into frantic confessions. Names, lies, nights, years of betrayal poured across the table, staining the air between us. I listened, expressionless. Every word was a blade, but none cut deeper than the first. I had already bled out. This was only confirmation. Finally, I stood, picked up the paper, folded it once, clean, slipped it into my pocket. "You'll explain this to her someday," I said, my voice like frost. "Not me." Her knees buckled. She begged, but I walked past her, each step deliberate. Her sobs followed, but I did not turn. Upstairs, I opened my daughter's door. She slept, curled tight around her doll, her face streaked with dried tears. I watched her for a long time. The innocence she carried was not mine by blood, but it was mine by choice. That was all that mattered now. I leaned against the doorframe, the house heavy with the sound of her mother's broken sobbing. For the first time in years, I felt weightless. Not healed, not whole, but free. Betrayal had burned everything down. Yet in the ashes, clarity remained. I kissed my daughter's forehead, whispered nothing, then walked away. And in that final silence, I understood. The loudest revenge is not fury, it is absence.